Hey, what is going on, guys? Welcome everyone back to another Call of Duty video. If you do enjoy today's video, be sure to smash that like button down below. It will be much appreciated. But in today's video, as you seen by the title, I'm going to be showing you guys how to get Black Ops 3 early and any other Call of Duty you want to get down the line early. I got Modern Warfare 3 early, I got Black Ops 2 early, as well as Ghost Advanced Warfare and Black Ops 3, which is obviously coming out. I am not going to be getting it early, or I haven't got it early because I pre-order it. But what most people think is that whenever you get a Call of Duty early, they think it's at least 2 to a month early. That is never going to happen. That is going to be very rare, and you're going to be super lucky if that does happen. Whenever you get a Call of Duty early, it's at least going to be 3 or 2 days earlier. If you're even more lucky, you might get it a week or 2 weeks. I got it 2 weeks earlier when Modern Warfare 3 came out, and I thought I was the luckiest person, but a lot of people did have it as well. But it is definitely rare to get it a week or 2 weeks earlier. Now, I'm going to be telling you guys a lot of techniques through this, and the stuff you've got to know with this is it's better to do it with a friend. Not only that, but what you've got to know is it's going to cost a lot of money. So it's going to cost at least 2 or 3 times the cost of the normal game. So it might cost $250 or $300, maybe around the $200 mark, just because obviously you're getting the game early. But depending how earlier you get it, it's obviously going to cost more. And YouTubers are the most people who do this just because they can make content for you guys. But if you're a normal person, I wouldn't suggest it, because obviously you're going to have a huge risk doing it. Not only that, but there might be scammers, so do this at your own risk, guys, because you might get caught. So moving on to the first technique, and all these techniques I'm going to go from worst to best. I've done this with my friends, so I'm going to tell you guys for a fact that all of these worked. I'm pretty sure for a lot of YouTubers as well, it's worked for them. Now, the first one is if you go ahead and pre-order the game digitally through the PlayStation or Xbox store, you can set your time zone to something different. So obviously the game comes out midnight of your time. What you want to do is you want to switch it to Australia or New Zealand. New Zealand's ahead of Australia maybe by 2 or 3 hours. And Australia is ahead of the world by, I believe, around 10 hours. So we do get the game about 10 hours earlier than you guys, so in America. So basically, you want to change your time zone to Australia or New Zealand on the account that you've pre-ordered it digitally. Basically, it will release when it is Australia's midnight. So that's going to be about 10 or 13 hours earlier if you do live in America. And basically, that's one way to get the game earlier. Obviously, that's only 13 hours, but we want to look at a grand scale, which is a day or 2 days earlier. So moving over to the next technique, this one is definitely not the best, but it can work if you so happen to find the right shop. And that's basically to go to the game markets or the game shops like GameStop, Walmart, or Target if you live in America, but specifically EB Games or JB Hi-Fi in Australia. What you want to do is you want to go ahead and go with a friend. And why I say go with a friend is when you go to the counter and you're going to ask the person for Black Ops 3 early, you can obviously try to bribe them, give them an extra $100 or $50. But if you're with another friend and they give the same amount as well, obviously they're getting more money and they're more inclined to do it. I have done this before. Sometimes it doesn't work. Usually they'll say that they can't release it and they can only release it when the game comes out, so they can't do it. But it has worked for my friend. I do believe last year it worked for him, but you've got to know which shop it works for, and also it's better to go with a friend. Once again, it's very hit and miss, and it won't usually work most of the time. The next thing is that if you know someone or a manager or a friend who possibly works at GameStop or an EB Games or a Target or something, you can obviously ask them to give you the game early. One of my friends did this, but I wouldn't say it is the best thing, because obviously your friend or manager or whatever could get fired doing this. I've seen a lot of people say that this particular way or technique has worked. I haven't tried it myself, but what I've known from people is it works. I wouldn't say it is the best technique, but I would say it would work better than the one before. But out of all of them, I wouldn't do this one because there could be scammers and all that stuff. And once again, you want to do this at your own risk. The next thing, what I've got to say, is probably one of the most likely ways to get it earlier is to go on Craigslist or eBay, because if you go on eBay, you can obviously see listing and auctions of it. Now, once again, there could be a lot of scammers with this, as well as Craigslist. Craigslist is an easy way to get it early because obviously you see the person in person and then you can get the game early. But once again, it's going to cost at least 2 or 3 times the normal cost. I've done it before, but once again, you want to go with a friend to make sure there's no scammers, and you want to do this at your own risk. Now, moving over to the better techniques on how to get this game early, which I do think is probably the best techniques out of all of them, is number one, to go to a mom and pop stop. Basically, in America or Australia, if you happen to find a gaming franchise that isn't anything like an EB Games, maybe something called like a game, or something with a, I guess, basically a mom mom and pop store is just basically a store that isn't as big as EB Games, but they do sell games. Usually they do get the game early. I think maybe about 5 or 4 days if I'm correct. If you go to them, they are more inclined to give you the game because obviously they aren't strict and locked down as EB Games, JB Hi-Fi, Target, or Walmart is. And if you do that, go with a friend, give them some more money, and usually that does work out. But what I've got to say, it is sometimes hard to do that, but usually they won't give you the game early. It has worked for me in the past, and I've got to say that one is definitely the best technique. This technique, I would also say, is very good. A lot of people say it's probably the best one. I, in my opinion, do find it very good, and that's to actually order the game on Amazon. Now, why you want to order this game on Amazon is usually it is hit and miss on Amazon. What I've known for a fact from myself and my friend, we always try to get it early, and usually the best way for him to do it, my friend, is to order it from Amazon. The reason why is because Amazon, when they deliver it to your house, they may accidentally deliver it 2 or 3 days early. A lot of people on Reddit do get the game around 4 or 3 days early, and what I do know is sometimes this is extremely hit and miss because you could get the game on the day. Not only that, but you could get the game like 2 or 3 days after it comes out, which is definitely what you don't want. But personally, out of all of these, the best techniques would definitely have to be the Amazon one and going to a mom and pop store, because you know for a fact that they are more inclined to give you the game, and it's just the best way to do it. But more or less, guys, that is the ways and techniques of getting Call of Duty early. Let me know in the comment section down below if you've ever got a Call of Duty early. But what I've got to say, it definitely isn't the easiest thing for this to happen. I know some of these techniques may seem a little bit funny and strange, trying to bribe people or whatever, but usually that is a way to get it. But I'd say if you're doing this, do it at your own risk, because once again, you're obviously going to be risking a lot of stuff when it comes down to getting this game early and whatnot, so be sure you know what you're doing. But nonetheless, hope you guys have enjoyed. If you have, be sure to smash that like button down below, and I will catch you guys later. Globe out.